Well, as I said just a couple of minutes ago, today we learn that the eighth and final leader of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, has died at the age of 91. He was the son of peasants, but the world came to know him as the architect of perestroika and glasnost, two words which mean restructuring and openness. Domestic policies that he hoped would dismantle the machinery of repression that his predecessors had methodically erected. I have no doubt Gorbachev would be alarmed at the reintroduction of repression and unbridled authoritarianism exercised today by Vladimir Putin, because Gorbachev forged disarmament treaties with Cold War enemies. He freed political prisoners. He ushered in the unfamiliar notion of free elections. He cracked open the door to states in Eastern Europe to eventually break free of Moscow's rule. In truth, Gorbachev lifted the Iron Curtain and pulled Russian troops out of foreign conflicts, such as the 10-year debacle in Afghanistan. He said in 1988, and I quote, "The winds of the Cold War are being replaced by the winds of hope." Gorbachev will be regarded as one of those influential politicians of the 20th century, the last leader of the Soviet Union. He died on Tuesday at the age of 91. He had been suffering from acute diabetes and was undergoing treatment in a hospital in Moscow. Gorbachev unravelled decades-old entrenched communist regimes across the Eastern Bloc. We saw the reunification of Germany's East and West. He greatly improved ties with America. Putin, of course, is heading in the opposite direction. But in his two-volume book called Life and Reforms, published in 1995, Gorbachev wrote, and I quote, "I do not relieve myself of responsibility for the initiated reforms because I'm still deeply convinced that they were vital and ultimately will serve the well-being of my motherland and will be beneficial for the world," unquote. It is hard to reconcile these views with the behaviour in 2022 of Vladimir Putin. Mr. Gorbachev rejected the use of force to crush the push for freedom in the Soviet bloc. He eased censorship in the media and in cultural life. He initiated a landmark nuclear arms control agreement with America and was awarded the 1990 Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Committee cited, and I quote, his leading role in the peace process, which it said, quote, characterised important parts of the international community. The Wall Street Journal today cites the Moscow-based political scientist Mark Chernoff, who worked at Mr. Gorbachev's foundation. Mark Chernoff said, quote, "The real problem is Gorbachev was trying to introduce freedom to a society and a population that did not know how to use freedom. For many generations, we were under a very tough totalitarian regime. We were deprived of any elementary personal freedom. To overcome such kind of a legacy, 3 or 4 generations are needed," unquote. We've seen, as you know, the reaction to Donald Trump in America. Once he threatened to drain the swamp, the hierarchy went after him. And so it was with Gorbachev. Thousands had benefited from the system of privilege and cronyism, and those very people sought to reverse Gorbachev's policies. As Anne Simmons rightly chronicles today, some key cabinet ministers and close associates launched a coup against Mr. Gorbachev in August 1991 while he was on vacation with his family. The coup failed, but weakened his position.